Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
It is fight week in Texas. Matchroom Boxing's back in the Lone Star State for San Antonio's own WBC Super Flyweight champ Jesse Bam Rodriguez. The sport's youngest champion returns home for a stiff challenge. The former champ, SRISAKET SOR RUNGVISAI. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Justin Shackle welcoming you into San Antonio for Matchroom Boxing's official Fight Week press conference for Rodriguez Rungvisai. This Saturday from San Antonio's Techport Arena, it is the WBC champ, the young Jesse Bam Rodriguez, making his first ever title defense against the former two-time champion, the everlasting SRISAKET SOR RUNGVISAI, exclusively on Dazn. It is young blood versus the old guard at 115 pounds. We have seen that multiple times already here in 2022. We're going to see it again, and it is also the headline show for a card that features two other major title fights. So when you take a look at stacked cards, this is arguably one of the deepest in 2022. It is time to meet the fighters who will be stepping in the ring this Saturday. So without further ado, let's toss it up to the podium for Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to San Antonio, Texas. So excited about what I think could be the card of the year this Saturday, Techport Arena in San Antonio, live and exclusive on Dazn around the world. Incredible times for boxing. Fresh back from Brisbane, Australia, as Matchroom Boxing and Dazn start their journey in Australia, and of course in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where we just announced the Unified World Heavyweight Championship. August 20th, Alexander Usyk will fight Anthony Joshua. It was an incredible press conference, promo shoot, event and atmosphere in Saudi Arabia. Flown in here, of course, for the press conference for Bam Rodriguez against SRISAKET SOR RUNGVISAI. Incredible fight for the World Championship WBC title. And of course, tomorrow as well, just to remind you, the first press conference for Canelo against Triple G3 in Los Angeles. The huge fight, September 17th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The huge fights globally do not stop. And as I said, I feel one of the cards of the year this weekend, a World Championship triple header with what I feel could be the next superstar of the sport in Jesse Bam Rodriguez against former pound-for-pound star SRISAKET SOR RUNGVISAI. And so many championship fights to discuss. Before we do, we're going to go to some very important fights on some of our prelims and other minor title fights. They could be cool, but major for them as well. We're going to start with Jesus Martinez. Has us welcome after a great performance in Mexico, just 17 years of age, 16-time national champion. Delighted that you've teamed up with Darren Barker and Joe Calzaghe to manage your career, but a real quick turnaround from that pro debut in Mexico.
No, I want to thank everybody for coming out here, and I want to thank Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Dazn. I want to thank Darren Barker, Joe Calzaghe, my managers. I want to thank Robert Garcia and RGBA and my father. And I'm real excited to be participating in this card. It's a stacked card, and you know, I used to live here in San Antonio, so this is literally my second hometown. So I'm excited to put on a great show and put on great fireworks.
Incredible amateur career. You speak so well. I can't actually quite believe you're 17 years of age, making me feel very, very old. But the key activity, and obviously 2 fights in a couple of weeks, is how you mean to go on.
Yeah, I mean, this is my job. There's no plan B. This is just the main plan. And my goal is to be a multiple-time world champion in multiple divisions. So it has to start with me working. And this is just another day in the job, another day in the office.
Well, look forward to seeing you back in action on Saturday and following your career closely. One young man I cannot wait to see back in the ring is Nikita Ribabi. It's been a long, long time. Been grinding hard in California, ready to explode back on the scene. A great fight for him against Noe Larios Jr., who we saw fight in the UK recently, put up a great fight against Kevin Agyarko. Noe, I'll start with you. Great experience travelling to the UK, to Liverpool for that fight. Didn't go as planned, the first defeat on your record, but bouncing back and a great opportunity over in your home country to fight Nikita Ababi this Saturday.
Yeah, it was a great trip out to UK. Beautiful place, beautiful experience, everything. Took my first L, but it's just back to a drawing board, get everything back in shape, and get back out here, time for redemption. So I'm ready to put on a show on Saturday.
Talk to me about that first professional loss. I don't know you want to talk about it too much, but so many fighters seem to be so concerned about protecting that O. You built up a great undefeated record, but then flew over the other side of the world to take on a very, very good young challenger. No fear of losing that O, but the lessons that you learned from that and the experience you gained will put you in great stead this weekend.
Yes, of course. I didn't see it as a loss. Yeah, on paper, yeah, it's a loss, but it was a great experience overall. I felt confident after the loss. I just had to go back and do some studying of how I was doing my things, do a couple changes, and get back to doing what I want to do.
Thank you, Nikita. Well, welcome back, my man. I mean, one of our first signings in America, you ripped up the scene early on, had some setbacks, been working so hard now in California. This is a great fight for you, a tough fight to your return, over 8 rounds as well. And having seen your interview yesterday, just ready to go this weekend.
Oh, I'm ready. First off, I want to thank God, thank the man upstairs, thank my family for helping me with this camp, thank my team. And listen, there's not a lot of I really have nothing to say. I really want to get back in there. I really want to fight. And after this fight, I want to stay active, and the white chocolate is back.
Just talk to us about that move from the East Coast to the West Coast. Teaming up. I know you've been training a lot with Ryan Garcia over there as well. You got out of your comfort zone in Brooklyn and around there, and it's been a great period for you. And you look fresh, you look ready, you look excited with your career again.
Yeah, it was a blessing, training, going out there. I want to say a big thank you to Ryan Garcia for allowing me to train with him, and just reminding myself that I am one of the Lions. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful for him.
Well, we can't wait for that fight. Good fight as well, Nikita Ababi against Noe Larios Jr. Another brilliant fight, obviously, with Julio Cesar Martinez falling sick earlier this week. This fight now gets, I think it probably deserves, actually, which is a TV slot on the main card. Raymond Ford, who has consistently jumped in with anybody that's been put in front of him. Last time out, had a very, very close fight in Arizona. Before that, previously, some great performances, boxed in the UK. He's literally taken on anyone that's been put in front of him. This time, undefeated Ricky Medina Jr. from San Antonio. This is a tremendous fight. 2 undefeated fighters. Ricky, I'll start with you. What a massive opportunity for you. Undefeated here in San Antonio this weekend, fighting for your first title, live on Dazn as well. This is a massive moment for your career.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Saturday night. It's a big opportunity, but these are just opportunities you have to take, and I'm more than ready, to put on for the 210. It's great for San Antonio, and I just appreciate for everyone coming out.
Your opponent, Raymond Ford, classy operator, great amateur as well. I'm sure you've studied his fights. You and your team confident that you can hand him his first defeat this weekend?
Oh, most definitely. We worked hard. We did all the work in the gym. All the hard work is done now. Just come Saturday night.
Raymond Ford, no fear for you, undefeated fighter in his hometown. Like I said, I've never known you and your team to turn down a fight, turn down an opportunity. You talk about wanting the big world championship fights now, but this is a big moment for your career as well on Saturday.
I mean, I don't look at it like it's a big moment. It's just another stepping stone for me to get to where I need to get to. As far as me fighting in his hometown, this is what I'm used to. This is the route that I have to take to get to where I want to get to. So I'm ready.
You seem to have fought a lot of back-to-back fights in opponents' hometowns. Very unlucky with the draw on your record when you boxed in Arizona. Maybe a little bit fortunate to get the victory last time out. I know you might dispute that, but need a commanding, dominating performance this weekend. I know you yourself talking about fighting Warrington and fighting Lara and Kiko Martinez and all these guys. If you want to step up and fight those guys, we know you're ranked in the top 15 now with the WBA, but you need to be winning impressively this weekend.
Definitely. I just want to control the fight and, just dominate and take everything that he feel like he's going to do in there and take it away from him and just put my game plan together and just control the whole fight and dominate. So that's what I want to do. And he's just another, like I said, he's a stepping stone to get to where I want to get to.
Thanks, Ray. Great fight. Raymond Ford against Ricky Medina. 2 undefeated fighters for the WBA Featherweight Championship. And we head up to plenty of belts up here. Firstly, the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. Women's boxing right now on fire. I mean, we go back to Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano, one of the greatest nights in the history of boxing at Madison Square Garden and the history of boxing. It was incredible. Now, so many great mega fights being made in women's boxing. And Jessica McCaskill is in a big, big fight this weekend. And also when you consider as well the fights that lay in front of her as well, a potential Katie Taylor rematch, a fight with Chantel Cameron, so many other fights available for Jessica McCaskill. But this weekend, mandatory challenger Alma Ibarra. This is, I feel, outside of Katie Taylor, the toughest test of Jessica McCaskill's career so far. Alma, we'll start with you. Welcome through your interpreter here as well. This is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Incredible in these undisputed fights that one victory can give you every belt in the division.
Has estado esperando mucho tiempo para esta oportunidad. Es increíble que en peleas por el título indiscutido puedes ganar todos los títulos con solo una sola victoria.
Llevo más de 10 años esperando por esta oportunidad, no solamente 5 como profesional, sino desde toda mi carrera amateur. Entonces, por fin se dio y no pienso desaprovecharla en absoluto este sábado.
I have been waiting 10 years for this opportunity, not 5, which is what my professional career was, but also my amateur career. And the opportunity is finally happening. I'm going to make sure that I take advantage of it.
Women's boxing right now in an incredible period, and yourself having grinded for years to get this opportunity for Mexico, for the opportunity that will change your life at the weekend. You're fully confident that you will be undisputed champion on Saturday night.
Es un buen momento para el boxeo femenil. Has estado trabajando muy duro para esta oportunidad, para representar a México. ¿Cómo te sientes al tener esta gran oportunidad?
Bueno, últimamente el boxeo femenil está dando mucho de qué hablar. Me alegra saber que soy parte de ese grupo de boxeadoras que están poniendo en alto el boxeo femenino. La verdad es que estoy muy contenta por la oportunidad. He pasado por muchísimas situaciones en todos estos años, un secuestro inclusive, y nada de eso me ha detenido. Creo que al contrario, me ha hecho mucho más fuerte y creo que estoy en el mejor momento para poder llevar ese triunfo a casa.
There's been a lot of talk about lately with women's boxing, and I'm very happy that I'm part of a group of boxers that is elevating women's boxing right now. And so I'm very happy because I've been through some tough situations recently, including a kidnapping, and none of that has stopped me. And so I'm very strong, and I feel that I'm in the moment right now to take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you, Alma. Jessica McCaskill, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. We talk about Ray Ford taking any fight that's put in front of him. Certainly yourself and Rick Ramos have never turned down a fight. I just said to you outside, this is a really good fight for you. This is a fighter in Alma Ibarra that's widely respected within the sport. She has rich pedigree in the amateurs as well. I think this is going to be an absolute thriller on Saturday night.
You know, our colors for this fight are gold and silver, and the Bible talks about them being superior metals and how they can withstand the fire. And not only that, but when they come out on the other side, they're purified. So this is going to be a firefight. And once I come out on the other side, I want you guys to see just the type of fighter, the type of boxer I am, if you don't already know.
For so long in your career, I felt like that your strength and your resilient nature within the ring got you so many victories, but also lately seen the improvements technically as well. I always say I don't feel like you've ever got the credit for stepping up in those fights, specifically, beating Brackhouse for the undisputed championship as well. But refining the skills, we'll still see the same fire, the still aggression from Jessica McCaskill, but really starting to become a rounded fighter in there as well.
Yeah, Rick Ramos, he puts us through hell when we're training, so sometimes the fight is the easiest part. But, even at this level, there's always more levels to reach, and so we never stop. We're always working on different game plans, different techniques, different skills, all of that, and that's a big up to Rick Ramos. Thank you so much.
And finally, in San Antonio, live on Dazn this weekend, Mexican opponent. We know you fight like a Mexican as well. Can only mean one thing, fireworks for the undisputed championship in there on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's Mexican. My grandfather's from Delicias, Chihuahua, Mexico. Like, I have Mexican in my blood, if you guys didn't already know, because I come forward and she's going to come forward and it's going to be insane. So I'm just here to take all the Mexican fans home with me. So that's the plan.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Alma. Tremendous fight for the undisputed welterweight world championship. On Saturday, we go to our second world championship, another unified world championship. I feel the best super bantamweight in the world in Murodjon Akhmadaliev, the current WBA super and IBF world champion. I think this young man is a special, special talent. But finally, after a long time of waiting, Ronnie Rios, the mandatory challenger for the WBA championship, gets his opportunity in the ring. This fight has been on and off, both guys falling out of the fight. I'm so pleased it's back because I feel like this is one of the best fights in the division, one of the most exciting fights in the division. Before we go to Ronnie, our good friend Robert Diaz from Golden Boy, who has been campaigning for this fight for a long time. It feels like a lifetime. But your man gets his opportunity. He looks fresh. He looks in tremendous shape. And I know you're very excited about this fight.
First of all, thank you, Eddie. Congratulations on announcement of Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Looking forward to that. Congratulations on this card. Kevin, Sean, Frank, Eddie, all Matchroom. Tremendous card. For all of you fans, come out to the arena. If not, watch on Dazn. You're absolutely right. It's been a long time coming. And hats off to Team Rios, Hector, everybody, Ronnie, for not losing faith. Before MJ stood up and accepted the mandatory, it was Brandon Figueroa who wouldn't take the fight. So Ronnie's been waiting a long time as mandatory. We're a couple days away. All the best to both fighters. MJ, we have nothing but respect for you, your team. We know how tremendously talented you are, the amateur pedigree. But one thing we have to not forget about Ronnie Rios. He's been at the top. He's hit the bottom. He's rose again. He's shown why he's mandatory, and he didn't like it. He's determined to become Santa Ana's first world champion and make history on Saturday. MJ, we know his quality, his talent, but one thing you don't have is that experience. That comes over time. This is going to be 12 rounds of hell. I promise that.
Yeah, Robert, I mean, obviously, you were one of the best matchmakers in the sport. And when you look at this fight, I mean, fascinating style matchup as well. Ronnie never in a bad fight. Murodjon has the ability to fight in so many different ways. But like you said, all-action fight coming on Saturday night. And Ronnie must take this opportunity, and we know he'll leave nothing in the ring.
100%. This is a fight that can go down. Hey, who knows? We might see a trilogy here because it's going to be that good. 12 rounds of hell. It will be fireworks. It will be a champion not wanting to give up his belts. And it'll be a young man, veteran young man, that's going to show that it's 12 rounds, not 6.
Ronnie, you look incredibly fresh. Very, very well. You look healthy. It's been a long time coming. Huge opportunity for you to become the unified world champion this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. I feel very fresh. First and foremost, I want to thank my team, Team Rios, Hector Lopez, Robert Villasenor, Cesar Campos, Andrew Mejia, for all of their hard work, not just for this fight, but for every fight. I also want to thank Eddie Hearn, too, and Matchroom for putting me on more than one card. Thank you once again. And I want to shout out to all my sponsors for having me, fresh and ready to go. Thank you so much. But yes, I am ready for Saturday, 25th, and I look forward to becoming Santa Ana's first world champion.
Murodjon, a short professional career, obviously a fantastic amateur career as well. When you look at a fighter like that and the skills that he possesses, is it a case of testing him, taking him to deep waters over the championship rounds as well? We know that you're extremely tough. You have a great engine. You have to take him to uncomfortable places this weekend.
Yes, I do. I have to take him to uncomfortable spots because he's only had 11 fights. And I just feel like the experience is going to be the key factor into this fight. So I feel like I'm going to have to take him into deep waters, put the pressure on, go either southpaw or right-handed and just keep moving forward.
Thank you, Ronnie. MJ, welcome. You have a translator here as well. This is a great fight for you. Great fight. Last time out, you had a late replacement. This fight's been on and off, but Ronnie Rios will bring the fire on Saturday, and you look like you're ready for that.
Hey, MJ, приветствуем тебя. Этот бой был назначен, потом срывался. У тебя была замена в последние дни перед боем. Насколько ты готов, насколько счастлив, что этот бой наконец состоится?
Hello, everybody. Я очень рад принимал этот бой Ронни Риос. Хочу поблагодарить Matchroom, Dazn, Эдди Хирн. Да, у нас должен быть бой, но коронавирусом он стал. Но я тоже коронавирусом стал, но я хорошо выздоровался, занимался дальше, и я готов на этот бой 100%.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming here and support us. Thank you to Matchroom, Dazn, Matchroom Boxing, to Eddie Hearn, World of Boxing, and to everyone who's involved. Thank you to Team Rios for this fight. And thank God we both, coronavirus hit both of us last times, but thank God we're healthy, we're here, we're ready to go, and I'm 100% ready for this fight.
Obviously, you can't look past Saturday because it's such a tough fight, but everybody is talking about the undisputed fight for you. Do you want to put a performance in this weekend to show that you are the best in the division?
Несмотря за спину Ронни Риосу, вам предстоит бой в субботу, но хочешь ли ты выступить так, чтобы доказать, что ты лучший в этом дивизионе?
Да, конечно. Я не стал же как просто так стать чемпионом, да. Я должен свой пояс защищать и доказывать, кто сильный. Да, мой соперник тоже очень хороший боксер, в профи тоже у него хорошие бои были, сильный. Я уважаю, но 100% я готов это все покажет в ринге.
Most definitely. I'm not looking behind Ronnie's back. I know that he's a great fighter. I respect him. He's been in the great fights, never in the boring fights. He's a warrior who comes to fight. But so do I. I didn't come here to just be a world champion. I want to be undisputed. I want to be the best and prove it every time I'm stepping in the ring.
Thank you, MJ. Thank you, Ronnie. Tremendous fight for the unified Super Bantamweight Championships of the world. We go to the main event. This is a thrilling fight. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, the homecoming in San Antonio this weekend against one of the legends of the sport, former pound-for-pound great SRISAKET Sor Rungvisai. This fight has taken so many different turns. Of course, Rungvisai supposed to be fighting Estrada, supposed to be going in perhaps with another fight with Chocolatito after knocking him out previously as well. And Jesse Rodriguez steps up from 2 divisions beneath at junior flyweight to fight Quadras last time out on 1 week's notice to become WBC world champion. The hype around Jesse Bam Rodriguez has been incredible. People talking about him as a future pound-for-pound great, future Hall of Famer. It's such an early moment in his career. Hype is something we all live and breathe in boxing, and the hype behind Jesse Rodriguez is incredible. But is this the right challenge? When he won this belt, everybody talked about him dropping back down 2 divisions. He wanted to stay here for this incredible fight with Rungvisai, who is a huge puncher, has some huge victories on his resume as well. But Jesse Rodriguez, once again, wants to step up in the biggest, toughest challenges and wants all the smoke at any division around. Firstly, SRISAKET, we'll start with you. Welcome. You look very good as well, very healthy. We know you've had a long, good training camp and a massive fight for your career this weekend.
พี่แหลมดูดีเหมือนที่ซ้อมหนักๆและซ้อมเต็มที่แล้วก็ดูสุขภาพแข็งแรงเป็นยังไงมีความรู้สึกเป็นยังไงที่มาที่นี่ครับ
ครับผมก็ขอบคุณแมทรูมแล้วก็ดาโซนแล้วก็ขอบคุณอินนี่เฮิร์นที่ให้ผมได้กลับมาชิงแชมป์อีกครั้งหนึ่งครับผมก็จะนำเข็มขัดกับเมืองไทยให้ได้แต่สุขภาพตอนนี้ผมก็สมบูรณ์เต็มที่ครับผมแข็งแรงครับผม
Thank you Dazn, thank you Matchroom, thank you Eddie Hearn for giving me this opportunity to come back and fight for a world title. I'm in good shape right now. I training hard and coming back here. I want to bring the title back home to Thailand.
Obviously, you were supposed to fight Juan Estrada. Jesse Rodriguez's great performance. I saw in your media stuff earlier this week, you talk about using your power in this fight and your size as well. You know, you've got a guy who is a traditional 108-pounder. Is that the intention for you to use your heavy hands in there and look for the knockout this weekend?
พี่แหลมคิดว่าเอ็ดดี้เฮิร์นบอกว่าจะวางแผนที่จะต่อยกับแบมโรดริเกสว่ามีจะใช้น้ำหนักคุณพลังของคุณแล้วก็หมัดของคุณครับ
แบมโรดริเกสก็เป็นนักมวยหนุ่มไฟแรงแล้วก็อายุน้อยผมก็จะใช้ประสบการณ์ของผมนี่แหละครับที่จะบุกลุยกับน้องแบมโรดริเกสครับผม
Bam is a young fighter. He doesn't have the experience that I do. I know he's a fast fighter, but I'm going to use my experience and my power to take over.
Thank you, SRISAKET. Bam, welcome. San Antonio homecoming. I mean, this all happened really quick, didn't it? You know, 1 minute you were supposed to be fighting for an interim world title at 108 pounds. Then you get the phone call, you step up 2 divisions to go and beat Carlos Cuadras in a great performance in Arizona. Now, all of a sudden, the whole world's talking about you, the youngest world champion in the sport of boxing. You're back in your hometown, San Antonio, to defend this title. This is a different kind of fight, isn't it? We know that Cuadras is a warrior, but this is a very, very dangerous man to my left.
Yeah, I believe Rungvisai, he's the toughest title defense I could have taken. But, you know, I'm not here to be an average fighter. I want to be a special fighter. And these kind of fights are what they produce special fighters. So that's why I took it. And I believe he deserves a shot. You know, I'm the one that replaced him when he got sick. So why not choose Rungvisai? You know, let's do something special.
Talk about do something special. In this weight class, with your ability to fluctuate between the divisions, so many huge fights for you. Of course, Chocolatito, Estrada, Julio Cesar Martinez, big fights at 108 pounds as well. That's what you want. You want to go down as a great. You want to go down as a legend in this sport. And you have to go through all those men to do it.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, I want to be an all-time great. The opportunity came at 115, so that's why we took it. But we do have plans of going back down to 112 and picking up titles there, maybe becoming undisputed. And the belt, the WBC at 115 was just the beginning of my career.
Yeah, Robert Garcia was talking about going back down to 108 or 112. Is it a disadvantage of you? This time, you know, this opponent is a big super flyweight. He's a huge puncher. You saw him flatten Chocolatito with huge showreel knockouts. Is it a disadvantage for you? You have to use your skill and your ring craft to beat these bigger guys, and especially a big puncher like Rungvisai.
No, it's not a disadvantage. I mean, yeah, he does carry power, but power doesn't win you fights. Skills does, and that's where my skills are going to come in and be able to take over the fight. Like I said, skills, power doesn't win fights.
And finally, going to be a huge crowd at Techport Arena, going to be very, very loud and noisy for your homecoming. What does it mean to you to be fighting in San Antonio and defending your world championship?
This means everything to me. This is the biggest fight of my career. When becoming a world champion is one thing, but being able to defend it in your hometown in front of your hometown crowd, it means everything. So it's going to be something special that night.
Thank you, Bam. Thank you, SRISAKET. This fight is going to be an absolute thriller. The WBC Super Flyweight World Championship between the former champion, Rungvisai, and the homecoming king, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. This card on Saturday night is an absolute thriller. So much coming up on Dazn. Wherever you are around the world, make sure you subscribe and be part of this incredible schedule that we've put together, of course. Saturday night, this is where it goes down. San Antonio World Championship triple header. We're going to have head-to-heads at the front and then the guys available to the media here. We look forward to the weigh-in tomorrow. And, of course, don't forget the first opening press conference for Canelo Triple G3. Huge fights incoming on Dazn. Don't miss all the action on Saturday night. Thank you.
Well, there is a lot of gold on the dais up there between Ray Ford in the front, Jessica McCaskill, MJ Akhmadaliev, of course, Jesse Bam Rodriguez as well. So we're going to have the first stare downs of the week between each fighter participating in their respective matches. But something that Jesse Bam Rodriguez talked about right at the end there. Power doesn't win fights. That's one of the elements of SRISAKET Sor Rungvisai's game that he's going to have to be aware of. Maybe it wasn't there as much in his match against Carlos Cuadras. He admitted earlier this week in Bam that he stayed in the pocket a little bit too much for his liking against Quadras. How he responds early out of the gate is something that you're going to want to watch as he goes up against a much powerful and heavy hitter in Sor Rungvisai. So everything getting situated on the dais. Of course, Jessica McCaskill and Alma Ibarra, and then MJ Akhmadaliev, Ronnie Rios going at it as well on that main card. And Ray Ford in action against Ricky Medina, a San Antonio native. This is a big step up for him, but this is his hometown. It's a guy that grew up with Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He was telling me earlier in the week that he and Bam played Pop Warner football together. He was a quarterback, Bam was the running back. A lot of handoffs between those two, so they grew up together here in San Antonio. It is going to be a big night for him. And Ray Ford, no stranger to stepping on his opponent's turf, as you see Jesus Martinez. He's going to be kicking our action off on Before the Bell. Panterita making his second pro fight appearance in 2 weeks' time. And he did it with Darren Barker, one of his managers, as he starts up his management company with Joe Calzaghe. So Jesus Martinez trying to go 2-0 for the second time this month. He picked up his first pro win back in Guadalajara on June the 12th. So this is a big moment for him as he grew up just about 150 miles west of San Antonio in Del Rio, a border town here in Texas. He also spent time in San Antonio. He calls San Antonio his second city. Nikita Bobby getting back in the ring, 11-0, 6 knockouts to his name against Noah Larios Jr., 14-1 with 6 knockouts as well. They're going at it for 8 rounds. Bobby looking to end an 8-month layoff with the victory. He scored a unanimous decision over Sonny Duverson back in October. Larios, 25 years of age, coming off his first pro defeat against Kima Najarko back in Liverpool, a 9th round stoppage there. And Bobby talking about his resurgence a little bit, talking about how he spent time with Ryan Garcia and Joe Goosen out in California, just to get that feeling that, hey, I am one of the lions in this sport. Get that feeling back in his blood as he gets back into the ring on Saturday night. Ray Savage Ford kicking off the main show on DAZN, 11-0-1, coming off a split decision win over Edward Vasquez back in Phoenix on February the 5th. And there you see Ricky Medina putting his undefeated record on the line with Ford's WBA Continental America's featherweight title, the IBF Northern American featherweight title on the line. And this one, Ford and Medina. Ray Ford once again stepping on some foreign turf in terms of his opponent. Got the call that he'd be making this fight against an opponent in his opponent's hometown. Nothing new for Ford. He said it doesn't bother him at all. He is ready to put on a show. He knows he is very close to a world title shot. That's why he stepped up his focus for this training camp. He trained down in Houston with fellow New Jersey native and world champion Shakur Stevenson. He finished out his camp in Houston with Shakur. And there you see Jessica McCaskill, Alma Ibarra. It'll be the undisputed welterweight title fight for Jessica McCaskill, 37 years of age. She's making her 3rd defense. And Alma Ibarra, 34. She turned pro at 29. She earned this spot in an eliminator title fight against Candy Wyatt last August in San Diego. Wyatt is the one common opponent between these two. McCaskill stopped her as well. So McCaskill with a challenge in front of her with Alma Ibarra. As we get rolling here and roll through this main card, you see the fighters staring one another down. MJ Akhmadaliev coming up next. Akhmadaliev and Rios. This is another match that had been in the making. COVID getting in the way toward the end of 2021. And there you see them, Akhmadaliev and Rios. MJ 11-0, 7 knockouts. Ronnie Rios 33-3. And you heard Robert Diaz highlight the experience when he spoke on the dais earlier. Ronnie Rios, he turned pro 9 days before MJ Akhmadaliev's 14th birthday. And Rios has amassed 217 total rounds compared to Akhmadaliev's 57. But in terms of being active recently, this is only Rios' 2nd fight since November of 2019. You see Robert Diaz getting into the picture, as well as with Eddie Hearn. Rios and Akhmadaliev getting going on Saturday night. So this is the 2nd consecutive fight in which Rios is coming off the longest layoff of his career. It has been 15 months since his last match. And Akhmadaliev scoring a unanimous decision over Jose Velasquez in his last match as he gets set to put his titles on the line once again. An explosive fighter at 122 pounds. And now it is time for the main stare down. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, SRISAKET SOR RUNGVISAI. Bam Rodriguez back at his hometown. He displayed some of his skills flowing down the Riverwalk yesterday here in San Antonio. Every fighter getting on a boat, going down the Riverwalk, and it was interesting because you had the fans along the Riverwalk shouting Bam's name. Some people who knew him back from his high school days shouting him out, telling them, hey, this is me, this so-and-so, I went to high school with you, knew your family. So this is a true homecoming affair for Jesse Bam Rodriguez. And that last appearance in the ring, he became boxing's youngest champion, took the fight on 6 days' notice after SOR RUNGVISAI fell ill in Phoenix. Don't forget, SOR RUNGVISAI was in Phoenix the night that Bam Rodriguez won the title against Carlos Cuadras. He fell ill upon arrival to the U.S. He stayed in the hotel the entire week, and he had to watch the 22-year-old take his title shot and win the WBC Super Flyweight Championship. So for SOR RUNGVISAI, he is coming in game hungry, trying to make this trip worth it all the way from Thailand against San Antonio Zone. We will have full coverage leading up to Saturday night. Of course, tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Time for the weigh-in for Rodriguez SOR RUNGVISAI. For everybody here at Matchroom Boxing and our entire crew in San Antonio, this is Justin Shackles saying so long in San Antonio. We will talk to you tomorrow at the weigh-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!